Joe and I and Chad were talking last night. If I were to ask everybody a show of hands, how many people would be in the business 5 years from now? Do you see yourself in the car business, detailing, selling, working on cars, or being in accounting or doing whatever? So if the hands go up, you say, well, 5 years from now, I'm probably going to still be doing this. Why wouldn't we do this the best we can to be somewhere else or making more money 5 years from now? Tracking? I mean, why not? Right? I mean, if we're going to be doing it anyways, we might as well get further, right? If we look at a tree, how tall will a tree grow? As much as it can, right? How many leaves will a tree produce? As many as it can produce. But when we talk about human beings and we say, well, how much are we going to grow? We grow and then we stop. And then we make the choice and we don't want to grow anymore. Yet we can grow as much as we can if we choose. I mean, I often say a lot of people, they die at 25. We just bury you around 70. Because around 23, 24, 25, that's when we start to settle into our belief system of what people have told us, or what we believe in ourselves, what we think we can do, or unfortunately, what we think we can't do. And so that just kind of takes care of the balance of our life when we get into that normal flow. And I'm not saying that flow is bad or good. I'm just saying it can always be better. But before we get started, let's do this. Wherever you're sitting right now, and whoever you're sitting next to right now, and wherever table you're sitting in at right now, I want you to find a different table and do not sit next to the same person you're sitting next to right now. Go ahead and move around. Can't say the same thing? Got an empty table? I want you to recognize something. I want you to recognize two things. Two quick things. When I asked you guys to move, the minute I said I want you to move and I explained the instructions, what was the first thing you thought about? Was anybody just a little bit tweaked, aggravated, or just kind of... Okay, you're okay with that. Okay, now that you're sitting somewhere else, the minute you sat in that chair, was that a little uncomfortable from where you just came from? Everybody was good? Boy, it's a good crew. You got a better seat, right? So basically, all the folks that came in late can now have a chance to sit up front. Everybody that was here early that wanted to sit up front have to be in the back, right? Is that what happened? Let's start out. Let's introduce some new folks here, some new people in the room. I want to make sure we acknowledge and recognize, and also want to make sure that we've got a small enough store. I worked at World Toyota. We had 259 employees. And by the time I was done working there, I knew every body shop technician, every tech, every parts person. I knew every salesperson, everyone in accounting. I knew the corporate people that were above, the dealership. I knew most of their families, their kids. And I only did that by one way, MBWA, right? MBWA, management by walking around, right? So walk around, walk around. When you guys are in an environment like you're in with our store, okay, the way we're going to get from one spot to the next is obviously trusting the team members, right? When you don't know anybody and you stay to yourself, you're not getting to know anybody, it's going to affect the outcome of what we're after. So take the time to meet some techs. There's people in the room, and most of you don't even know who some of you guys are in the room. And some of you work together for a year. You may recognize faces, but don't even know a first and a last name, right? So again, it's very important. So as I call your name, matter of fact, I put Joe in love. I'm typing fast, Jim.
I was wondering, I never met that.
Jim, why don't you stand up? This is Jim Fidlow. He's the new controller for the dealership. Everyone knows Nancy retired. So Jim is the one that helps coordinate most of the paychecks. Let me say it again. There we go. All right, Keith. Where's Keith? Stand up, Keith. Keith is the new general sales manager. The man up front. Yeah. So he's the one that's going to help us Rebecca. Come on, you got to stand, Rebecca. All right, see, her and Keith come as a package together. We're great as a team. I've never had a husband-wife scenario, and that sounds odd when I say I've never had that. But I promise you, I've called like 5 references before they came to work here, and they say, I don't know how it happens, but it just works. And they do a good job. So, Rebecca is the sales administrator. She pretty much, her and Keith work together to help the sales department really move forward in combination with the sales management team and salespeople. So give her a hand. Joe's new manager down at the Lake Lot. Most of you know Joe's been with us for a while, but some of you may not know Joe. Joe's very seasoned, been in the business many, many years, but Joe, he operates and kind of runs the Lake Lot. Him, Chad, and Chip are down there together, but Joe's one of the managers down there. Caleb, where's Caleb go? I'm sorry, get Joe. Caleb Haynes, one of our technicians, he was referred to me from my pastor at church. I'm very excited to have him on board. Brad is very excited as well. And ironically, Bernard knows Caleb from Eastern Shore Toyota and had good things to say about Caleb. So he's joined our team back in the back. So give him a hand. Diane, where's Diane? There she is. Diane Kell. She's in the accounting office right now, but we're transferring her to the receptionist. One of the areas of opportunity in the dealership is our phones, the way they're shifted around, the combination of Windstream and some other things. We're kind of tightening this thing up. She's going to be a main factor of really helping us succeed in sales and service. We're going to start channeling and getting actually calls and voicemails and a lot of things we don't have, which sounds absurd, which is all my responsibility, so I apologize that I've allowed to go on like that. But give Diane a hand. James and James in the sales department. Might as well both stand up, both James. All right, they've joined our team on the sales side, so give them a hand as well. Okay, Bernard, why don't you come up here real quick, give about 3 to 4 minutes and talk about all this PI stuff. All this
Jerry.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited to get the middle of stuff. Okay, look at my technician, Kyle. Where's Kyle at? Give Kyle a hand. Kyle, you came from the local tire store, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. He's doing a great job with us too. Forgive me, guys, for passing on. And where's Jerry? There's Jerry. Jerry's coming from Augusta and working in internet sales with tequila, so glad to have him working. I apologize that I have.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I can't hear you.
Good morning.
I can't hear you.
Good morning.
I can't hear you.
Good morning.
I want to talk a little bit about something we're rolling out. We call Groom, and Zoom, and we're going to tie it to PI. First of all, I want to read something that I woke up about 2 o'clock this morning, and this scripture came to mind. So I know I don't want to be offended if I just read a scripture. We're not going to talk about religion. But Jesus said in one scripture, Matthew 12, make a tree good and its fruit will be good. Or make a tree bad and its fruit will be bad. A tree is recognized by its fruit. Isn't that powerful? And I just woke up thinking about that, and then the thought hit me. Talk about that a little bit along with groom and groom, because when we talk about grooming and grooming, the dealership, the people, the culture, all we're saying is we want to make the tree good. Does that make sense? If we want good fruit, we got to be a good what? If we're getting bad fruit, we're a what? Bad tree. We're not a bad tree. We're good people. We're good. But the fruit tells us how good we are. Not what we say about how good we are. Does that make sense? So if we're not seeing the fruit, you got to groom and you got to groom the tree. And it's funny that Louie would talk about how big would a tree grow, because he had no idea that I was going to talk about this morning. A tree will grow as big as possible. It'll just keep on growing and growing and growing, but the tree has got to be a good tree. Now, if you walk up to a tree and you saw oranges on that tree, what kind of tree would you say that is? Orange tree. Okay? But suppose the tree started telling you, I'm an apple tree. What would you say? No, you're lying. You're an orange tree. So, when we look at our culture, when we look at our dealership, we really got to look at the fruit we're producing. Does that make sense? And if it's not the kind of fruit we want, we have to groom. We have to groom so that we can what? Zoom. Everybody say zoom. Zoom. Now, you make more money when you're a good tree. Does that make sense? In fact, I'm driving down this morning. I drove from Atlanta. I'm thinking about this in my own life. I thought, man, what kind of tree am I? When I look at the fruit I get in my own family, with my wife, my children, and sometimes I'll say, oh man, I need to be a better tree, okay? So how does this relate to Louie Herron Toyota? Well, another scripture, he said, man, we didn't come to church this morning, but we brought a Bible. He said, if a tree is producing good fruit, he will cleanse it so it produces more fruit. So that means when you're doing something good, he'll help you to do more good. Does that make sense? Okay, so some of you had your church for this morning. So how do we groom, and zoom the dealership? I'm going to go over a few things real quickly. Number one, you got to have the right vision. Now, how many of you know what our vision is? Who can stand up quickly and tell me what the vision of Louie Herron Toyota is? Okay, nobody stood up. That's enough time. So how can we execute a vision we really don't know? See, it's not that we're bad people. We're just a bad tree because we really haven't embraced the vision. Now, we're going to talk some about that this year. We're going to do a lot of teaching and training on vision. Stuart, Keith, and I, when that came out of, the vision was simple: building relationships that last. Everybody said building relationships that last. Now, we had a class called Relationships 101 that every employee went to, and the guy paid me to teach that class over and over. And by the way, he sold it for $55 million 10 years after he started it. And I heard he gave about $7 million to a charity. So when you're a good tree, you produce good fruit called ka-ching. Everybody say ka-ching.
Ka-ching.
Okay, you gotta have a mission. Next. See, the vision is the big picture, but you gotta have a mission, which means the ethics. What ethics do we operate by? You know, you gotta have an ethical standard, which is your mission. And quickly, number three, you gotta have values. How many of you know some of our values? Tell me one or two of our values. Someone quickly. Honor. Integrity. Okay, so if you have those values, are we supposed to live by them? Or we just put them on the wall and say, we got values, but we rip people off? We got values. Come on, guys. I'm preaching better than your amen this morning. Everybody say, if you don't stand for something, you don't fall for anything. See, once you get your values, that becomes the boss. What do we do with this customer? What was our values say? You don't even have to ask me what to do. Okay, and then you got to have number four. Louis talked about a philosophy. Just a philosophy of business. CarMax has a philosophy. AutoNation has a philosophy. What is our philosophy? And finally, you got to have purpose. You got to have a strong purpose. Why are we in business? Do you come here to get? Do you come here to give? Whatever your purpose is, we've got to bring it all together. Now, a strategy rolling it out, I know my time is just about gone, is we got to improve the corporate image. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Improving the corporate image has everything to do with, oh God, I hate to say it, our facilities, how clean it is, and all that. How many of you think that affects the business? The excellence of your environment. Look at this environment. Do you think they work hard to keep it like this? So when you go back to your work area, I know we don't have a new building. In fact, quit making an excuse. When we get the new building, we need to be excellent right here in the building we're in. Okay? Cleaning up doesn't mean, you don't have to have a new building to clean up. Does that make sense? Okay, I worked for one guy that if you did not clean your desk at night, he had me write below warning and put it on your desk. And if we put 3 on it, you were fined. And then if you didn't clean it up, he would just come and dump all your stuff in the trash can. Okay. That's a little radical, you know what I'm talking about. So we're not going to get that way, but facilities, sales team training. And then number 2, almost done, Louis, is creating a motivating environment. Making the dealership a place people want to work. Isn't that important? Man, I'm telling you, I was talking to a dealer yesterday in Atlanta, and he said, I don't know why we don't have raving fan customers. I said, because you don't have raving fan pay plans. Okay? And he didn't really like that. I've been kicked out of a review, but I said, man, all your people are customing, so there's no way they're going to take care of your customer. Now, I'm not trying to change pay plans, but I'm just saying, when you are gung-ho, you will create raving fans. Is that right? Because Jim Moran used to always say, pay plans motivate behavior. They drive your behavior. You will do, unless something's wrong with you. And then we want to make big bucks, of course. Now, final thing is customer first policies. I'm all about the customer, guys, because the customer is the real boss, like Sam Walton always says. He pays our bills. Without customers, we're all out of business. Does that make sense? But do we behave that way? Sometimes we're like, oh man, this stinking customer, this stupid customer is wasting my time. This in-case customer. So customer first policies mean our best practices align with our vision. Now I know I said a lot, but guess what? It takes a lot of work to bring this thing to pass, and it's not easy, but the rewards are good. We have rolled out PI, and it's predictive index, and it's a behavioral tool assessment to help us get the right people. Because to have the right tree, you gotta have the right people. Does that make sense? Okay, one guy wrote a book, Good to Great, and he said, you gotta get the right people on the bus. You get the right people on the bus, you're going somewhere. You got the wrong people on the bus, and we've gotten a few people off the bus. Louis made some tough decisions to get some people off of the bus that weren't bad people, they just weren't the right people. So with PI, we had you all do your PIs. Thank you for doing them for me. We weren't trying to psychoanalyze you. We were just trying to make sure we put people in the right places. So everybody say broom, 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 broom. So we can zoom. Zoom. Thank you very much.
I got the clock right here, and just so you know, that was 9 minutes and 33 seconds.
Okay.
I told you, if I give you 3, you'll take 10. So I gotta play this right. But I'll tell you, great information, Bernard. I hope you guys get a sense of the flavor. This meeting could not come at a better time. And I'll tell you, God is so good because a lot of you guys see me every day with the same face, pretty proactive, pretty smile, pretty energetic, and so on and so forth. And I've been that way since as long as I can remember. God made me. I believe some people are more predisposed to be more positive than others, right? Some people are more predisposed to be taller than others or bigger than others, right? It's just the way it is. But I will tell you, to say that I haven't been down in the dumps would not be honest. So when I look at myself and I realize, so why am I down in the dumps? All I'm down about is circumstance. Because of performance, I'm down in the dumps, right? So it's just this meeting couldn't come at a better time because here's what I want you to realize, and we're going to hit it today. We're going to hit it today. There's rumor mill about other stores in town because you know when you're not selling cars or selling labor, everybody else is doing great. You know how that goes, right? Everybody's rocking and rolling. You know how that is. So it's very important to realize that all that matters. Listen to me, y'all. All that matters is everybody in this room realizes that everybody's paycheck revolves around everybody's effort when they work together. There's no way to avoid that. I'm going to prove it to you here in about 45 seconds how important one individual is. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show it to you emphatically. When you look, you're going to realize, you know what? He's right. There's no doubt about that. All right, so I mean, this meeting comes at a good time, so please just focus in. I'm looking at the clock. I got a clock on me. I know exactly how much time. It's going to be a little bit, okay? So I just asked you guys what I thought was going to be 35, 40 minutes. Looks like another 35 or 40 minutes because I gave Bernard 3 that took 10. So, but it's okay. I let him know. Here's what I tell you. I need a volunteer to come up front for something. Before I do that, before I do that, though, seriously, if I ask for a volunteer to be exposed, to come up front, and you're uncomfortable about that, just be honest, and that's okay, because I want to make sure you're not called upon. Stand up. If you're uncomfortable to come to the front, okay? So if that's the case, when I say I need a volunteer, who would come to the front? Everybody would come to the front, right? Okay, so Robert, sit down. One moment. I want somebody brand spanking, I want someone brand spanking new to come up front. No, you're not new. You've done it before. All right, James, come on. Okay, I asked, raise your hand if you're brand spanking new. Let me see your hands. Okay, so here's what I want to prove to you. You can sit back down. Oh, you can sit back down. See, y'all are too slow. Because you never know when I'm asking you to come up what I need. So I need somebody brand spanking new to come up front. This is crazy. You sit back down instead of, go ahead, sit back down. Sit back down. Everybody's too slow. Because if we just talked about it, nobody was uncomfortable, and if I said I need a volunteer, technically everybody would come. I'll give you 2 shots of just brand spanking new people, and one is coming at a time, and it's taking 5 seconds. So if you're brand new, I need a volunteer. So here's what we're going to do. So you're the volunteer. And Jim, I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to expose you just to know that you did not move out of that chair one time. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get to that in a minute because it's very, very important when we discuss how one person makes a difference. It's going to be real crystal clear. So we're going to do a listening test real quick. This is very important. I always do a listening test because it's important to make sure that we listen because there's a lot of things I can say that you could miss. So it's very important. You got to be in the moment. Those that are married, has your wives ever told you, stay in the moment. You don't listen to what I say. Only guys understand that. The word is silk. Man, it's such an easy word. Say the word one more time.
Silk.
What's the word? Silk. We're going to spell it one time. Spell the word silk.
S-I-L-K.
Okay, now listen, the only reason why you speak is to be heard. The only reason why you're seen is to be visible to everybody. So stand tall, and when I say spell the word, we're going to project the word out. We're going to say, when I say silk, when I say what's the word, you say the word is silk, and you say the word with some power. What's the word?
Silk.
One more time, what's the word?
Silk.
Spell the word.
S-I-L-K.
What's the word?
Silk.
Spell the word.
S-I-L-K.
What's the word?
Silk.
What do cows drink?
Milk.
Okay. Just so we're on the same page. Cows drink water. I commend you. Instead of 5, I'm going to give you $20 for getting in the game. Give her a hand. Everyone affects the outcome. Everyone in the dealership counts. Everybody matters. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Please clue into this. We're going to get into this in a moment. But if I say I need a volunteer, technically everybody should come to the front, right? If we're all one team, one unit, right? But it all starts with one individual. That's you. And when you analyze why you chose not to do it or why you chose to do it, it was all based on fear, worry, anxiety, laziness, don't feel like getting up. Various reasons, correct? All right, but what we're looking for is, remember, when you're working every day at Louie Herron Toyota, every day, every moment, not every third day, not every other day, not every other week, every single day, to be a championship team, to create raving fans, the philosophy and what we have to come up with has to be an everyday thing. It has to be an everyday thing. Which means when you're faced with the opportunity to get in the game, okay, and play at a high level, okay, it's your choice. You make that choice every day. Here's what happens though. What you have to clue into is when you analyze why you choose not to do what's asked of you, let's just say. A lot of times you make that choice based on what other people do. Well, so-and-so didn't do it. So-and-so parks where they want to park. Right? Yeah. So what you have to do is, we're going to talk about there is an I in team. There is an I in team, and the I is you. Okay? And you count and you matter. Everybody counts, everybody matters. If you show up to play today at full speed because you went to a Louie Herron Toyota meeting and you're excited, you're going to affect the outcome. True or false? If you're in the same exact meeting and you did not get inspired and you go to the dealership in your role and you choose to do what you've always done and even lower it a step or two, you will affect the outcome of today's performance. True or false? So we've identified whether you work hard or you don't work hard, you will affect the outcome. True? Okay, so we're on the same page there. Everybody affects the outcome. So let's move forward because I want to talk about why we're here. Okay, so we're going to discuss the future, discuss the present. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the past. We don't want to live in the past. If you notice in your car, right, you got a rear view mirror. It's real small. And you got a big old windshield, right? It's small for a reason. You don't want to look back, something that's tiny. You always want to look forward where you got a big vision looking forward. But you do want to analyze the past a little bit to understand where you came from so you can improve, right? So let's make sure we're on the same page. We're just going to touch the past a little bit, have a little fun, loosen up a little bit. All right, talk about some goals, and most importantly, just talk about life, what it's really about. So watch this. This is a pretty cool video, and I think it relates to where we want to go as a team.
I'm a natural born leader just by looking in a man's eyes and say, look, I'm not telling you something for my benefit. I'm telling you something for the benefit of us. I said, now I need every man to believe that in their hearts.
We got to communicate and think mentally. Everybody got to know that there's somebody beside you that's depending on you. Right? It's up to us to go out and win this game.
And I don't care what goes on in this season, don't you ever turn your back on one another.
Follow my leader, come on.
Ever.
We got each other. Yes, we don't need nobody else.
If I got your back, you got my back. If I go to war, we go to war together. We're trying to be the greatest of all time, bottom line. And if that's what they put before us, let's go get it. Now, even people that don't like me got to watch me.
Somebody said you have to hate losing more than you love winning.
When you lose and you feel like you've done every single thing that you could have did to, succeed in this game or this particular play, and it doesn't happen, it affects me this amount. And then you look at somebody else, you look across the room or you look across the bench and you see somebody else and they messed up and it's like, oh man, we get it the next play. Are you serious? How many times is it going to be, man, we get it next time, we get it next time. Next time, you're going to look up and it's going to be the last play of the game.
I hate losing. It's like, it is just painful. I can't sleep. I'm sick to my stomach. If I lose at a game of chess online, It's just, you know, it's just like excruciating for me.
I never scrap up my helmet to go lose. Yeah? And honestly, it's a vision, man. It's a vision. And that's the thing. Get everybody seeing that same vision. And if you do, that's rough. That's rough beating men who see something.
No quarterback's doing this.
You know, these guys, what we ask them to go through on a daily basis, winter, spring, summer, fall, on a daily basis, if you don't know them personally, I don't know how you get a man to work for you as hard as you want him to work for you.
You wake up in the morning, there's 24 hours in a day after you finish sleeping, right? You might need 5, you might need 6, you might need 7, you might need 8. I don't know, that's your business. But listen to what I'm telling you. After you have finished sleeping, after you finish eating, and if you just that immature and you need to get your play on every day, you need to play video games, I don't know, you need to play cards, I don't know what you need to do.
I don't believe in luck. I don't believe that the stars are aligned in a particular way, so that's why you threw that particular touchdown. That's why, you know, you made that particular person miss. It's all about preparation. If you don't prepare the right way for a particular game, it's going to show. You're going to get exposed, especially in this league.
Whatever you need to do after you finish exercising, I'm telling you to spend the rest of that time in action. And you're going to separate yourself from everybody. Why? Because most people, all they doing is talk, 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 talk. That's all they doing is talk, 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 talk. And they getting pumped up and they getting excited from talking. So I'm saying get out of neutral and get into drive. Don't let your words guide you. Let your actions guide you. Are you hearing me?
It is what it is. The formula is out here.
Stop dreaming about it. Stop talking about it and get up and do something about it. That A, baby, that action, that grinding, that waking up and grinding.
This is where it happens. This is where the magic happens. It's all about my feet. They don't pay me from the game, baby. They pay me from the feet.
You never get to a place where you chilling. You never get to a place in your life where you accomplish something and you feel like you accomplished it and now you straight. But if I fail, E, I'm scared, E, I want to do it. I'm gifted. I'm talented. I know I can write that song. I know I can produce that album. I know I can do that CD. I know I can write a book. I know I can get that degree, but I'm scared. Listen to me very closely. You got this the fight of your life, baby. Are you hearing me? This the fight of your life. It's the fight of your life. And listen to me. If you're going to win the fight of your life, you can't be afraid to fight. I don't know how much money Gandhi made, but I know he changed the world. What's your why? He got a why. He ain't just playing for no championship. He not. You got to hear what I'm telling you. If y'all going to be great on that field, you got to have a why. You got to have a reason for why you do what you do. All he keeps thinking about is, I'm going to get one from my coach. That's why he ain't all smiling, because why? He's not smiling because what he's trying to accomplish, he has not what? He ain't got it yet.
And kind of break it down as you go.
Days before the game, you have to dream about that. You have to think about that. You know, like I joke around all the time. You know, even when you're with girls, you know, you have to think about making those big time plays.
You ain't gonna see that boy smile until he gets the championship, and when he get it, he gonna hold up. The problem with some of y'all, the reason why you don't give 120% every doggone time you get on the field, because you ain't got a why for what you do. You ain't got a why, because I'm looking in your eyes, and I see some of y'all, and you ain't serious. And you think you about to go out there with the Ray Lewises of the world? Negro, please, when Ray come out, you see the passion. Every game, you see the energy. He come out every game like, y'all follow me. Follow my lead, baby, and we gonna win this thing.
Fought through it, you've maintained your focus throughout. How would you describe your own journey from Blinn when you left there to get here?
You know, it's just a God thing. You know, I thank God every single day. You know, I'm just his instrument, and he's using me on a consistent basis daily. You know, I just want to, you know, he's using me to extend his word. And I'm a prime example of how God can turn something that was bad into something that was very great.
You know, I relate what we do to sports. You know, I'm a football guy. I played college football and all that stuff, and thought I was going to play in the NFL and all that kind of thing. But you know, there's so many. I can sit and talk about a video for another 45 minutes and talk about grinding. Grinding. Is that what we do in the car business? Don't we grind? Don't we grind? Every day we grind, right? Action. 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 Every day. I was telling Keith the other day, I said, you know, you're talking, man, you're in traffic, you know, and I said, look, no disrespect, you know, you and Clayton, these guys work extremely hard, so it's not an effort thing, it's not an effort thing, it's a focus thing, it's a philosophy thing, okay? And again, it's just my philosophy, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, okay? But I've been very fortunate, so I think, I don't know much in life, but I know the car business. I know how to create action. And so what I was explaining to him is, it's an everyday thing. Every day your ears should hurt because you as the leader, you and the manager, I know the salespeople have responsibilities, but you as the leader, you're the Ray Lewis of the dealership. You're the Michael Vick. You have to lead the pack, the tip of the spear. In some cases, it may take 30 more days, 45 more days, 60, it may be a year. It may be 3 years. To be honest with you, I work with managers every single day. I had to do that philosophy for 5 years, 6 years. But I know one thing, you reap what you sow. That's what I know. That's what I know. I know you can discover a man by his fruit. And I know the more you put fruit on that tree, the more people are aware. There's no doubt about it. There are certain people in the room, when we walk around, you know what kind of fruit they bear. You just know it. But then it doesn't just appear. It's a lifestyle. It's a philosophy, right? So that video, plays so much about team and what we need to do. Whether you realize it or not, the bad part about the car business is we have no halftime. We don't have an off-season. There's no time for us to take a breather, go back to the gym, regroup, put on a new program, design new plays for the following year, and then the preseason starts with just some practice, and then we go into the season. We don't have that luxury, do we? Every day, you know what the boss says? I need it again. I need it again. And I need it better than yesterday. And I need it again. You know what boss spelled backward is, right? Double S-O-B. Y'all thank me? I still love y'all. Okay? So anyways, that video is a great video, so I just want to kind of set the tone. Let's take a look back at 2012 from the inception. I want to show you something here that's very interesting. Again, charts, graphs, I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of it. I just want you to see a couple of things. All right, this is 2012, 2011, 2010, 2009. All right, the blue represents new car sales, and the purple represents used car sales. What sticks out to you right here? What was our best year? 2010. Now understand something. As it relates to the SAR, which determines how many new car sales that happen in the marketplace, new car sales preclude more used car trade-ins. You should do better in used cars, so it should perpetuate everything. The SAR in 2010 was roughly around 11 million cars. All right, last year it was 13 million cars. So the market, the country sold 2 more million cars than it did in 2010, and we went backwards. Right? So just something to note. All right, something to note. You look at 2010, look at our used cars. Boy, that sticks out to me. Look what we did in 2010 used cars. Now, 2009, we were only here for 6 months, but I want you to notice something about 2009. This is when we had all the energy, all the enthusiasm, new people in town, new staff brought in. Look at what we did in 6 months. We sold almost 325 new cars, where we sold in 2010, which is our best year, 450 for the whole year, but in 6 months we sold 325. 6 months. Same location, same street corner, same product. Different people. It's people. It's mindset. It's philosophy. Right? Look at used cars. I will tell you in 2010, used cars is up because we had a recall. You guys remember that recall? All right, so the recall obviously killed us with new cars, so we had to sell more used, so I think that was something evident. But what's interesting is just something to note, new cars, we still outsold 2011, which was good. Used cars, we still did better than 2011. So the last couple of years, we've kind of gained some steam. So there's some positive here. I'm not saying it's all negative whatsoever. Just something to note. Again, let's just take a look at where we're going. Let's take a look at service parts and let's say detail because we just kind of broke that out. Same equation. 2009, there was no detail. We had sublet. Okay, blue represents service, purple represents parts. Again, what was our best year? 2010. Man, what happened in 2010? I'm pretty good at journaling history. I should have journaled the history to see what we did in 2010. Good news. Look at service. 2012. We bettered 2011, so we had an improvement. It looks like parts just nudged out 2011. And here's detail, a little bitty sliver in 11 that we got it going, and we made some progress there as far as some profitability. But you look at service. Now I asked Brad, what happened in 2010 with service? You notice it's jumped out a little bit. Again, that number is camouflaged by the recalls we had. all those recalls came in so that we get paid. So that also skewed that number. So it's really, once again, not negative, it's just observable. Okay? Something to observe. All right? But here's the bottom line. When I take all those numbers and I decipher them for everybody so you know where we're at, here's the deal. New cars is up 10% from 2010, 2012. Right? Good job. Used cars down 21%. Service up 3%, parts up 7%, store profit is down 22%. So you can say, well, how's that? Let me tell you how that is. Here's the deal. You got a guy that runs the place, it's very aggressive, and so I spend a lot of money and I'm always looking for the next bar, next bar, next bar. So I put people in. You guys have seen fluctuations when people come in, so staff comes in, staff goes out, okay? What I will tell you in one sentence is, number one, I apologize to those that see some instability. Please know I'm being as sincere as I possibly can be. I do apologize because I know that ruffles things and ripples things with changing of people, but know one thing. And I say this with all due respect, and I hope you guys really understand this. Guys, most of you know this, I'm writing a book, and I'll be considered an author, believe it or not. I was terrible in school, it's kind of almost comical to think about. But I love to speak. Okay, one day the God's going to use me in a way, that capacity. I love the car business, all I've done for 20 years. Okay, and I'll buy 2, 3, 4 more stores, whatever God allows me to do. I don't have to grind. I've done my grinding. Y'all tracking? I've grinded. But my passion is growing individuals to grind with me and grind and learn and grow. I enjoy this. I enjoy this part. But I'd be remiss to tell you that there are some days where I go, why am I doing this? Why? Why am I doing this? Heat case, EEOC, lawsuit, have to fire people, have to change people. Okay, pay plans, people upset, vacation, misunderstandings, new people, other people. Y'all tracking? Yeah, sometimes I do. I'm honest, man. I'm real like you guys, man. I put my pants on like you guys. I'm the same person you are. I got the same feelings. So that's why it's important to realize that, look, I don't come here for store profit to be down 22% the last 3 years. That's not what I come here for. No more than you guys come to work and make X amount of dollars this year and get paid less than next year. Does that make sense? Of course not. It's not what we do. But I can't move unless you guys move with me. You guys affect my family, and I'm grateful for everything you allow me and my family to do. You guys allow me to do a lot, and I am grateful for that. Okay? The reverse is I also affect your families. The decisions I make. So it's important that we fill each other's gaps and make sure we talk and communicate and get better every day. Okay? So, let's real quick run through this and get off this goal stuff. Goals for the first half of the year. Here's what I did. I broke them down real simple because I could have done graphs and charts, but you know what? It doesn't mean much to everybody, so I understand that. We want to average 45 new car sales from January to June. Keith, if you can help us do better than that, I love you, brother. I'm good. I know your expectations are higher, and I'll take them all day long. I think the sales team as well. 40 used cars a month. Okay, that's 85 used cars. Again, we've averaged 90 cars, 88 cars for the last 2-3 years. So why are we going backwards? Well, we've sold 60 car range for the last 4 months. Okay, so we got to crawl, walk, and run. We got to get back going again, right? So I'll take more. I'll take more. All right, so that's a goal that we should be able to hit. I want to be number one with Toyota in sales and in service. So the percentage of objective. Obviously, being out in Milledgeville, it's hard to be number one in sales because there's bigger stores than us. But percentage of objective, we can do that. And also CP sales as a percent, okay, with our store. Service gross, $60,000 a month. Parts gross, $35,000 a month. Body shop, $3,000. I'd like to retain $3 grand. Track, $2,000. Track's lost money every month. Okay, so that'd be big to do that. Kristen, by the way, is doing a good job. Here's what I want to tell each and every one of you. Okay, when we talk about why this affects you, we'll get into that in 1 second after I talk about the leg pod, because it does affect you. Here's what I want you to do. I need you, clearly, with no minced words. As the President Obama says, let me be clear. Anyway, here's what I need. I need every one of you to own your area of responsibility. Let me take Kristen, for example. Kristen, what I'd love for you to do, and it applies for everybody else, but I'll speak to Kristen just as an easy understanding. Kristen controls the track department. Kristen, I want you to own that. I want you to be creative. I want you to think outside the box. I want you to know every number. I want you to be able to take it to another level. I want you to be personally responsible. Personally responsible. Not your mama, not your daddy, not anybody else, not your husband. You personally be responsible for creating that. You give him bright ideas, Brad helping you, you working together, it's your baby, you handle it, you do it. I want you thinking about it, okay? If you could eat, sleep, drink it, I love you for it, but I know there's more things in life than Louie Herron Toyota, but that's what I'm looking for from everybody. That's how you win. Do you guys get that? That's how you win. But that's also how you win in life. It's the philosophy of grinding. Those that are married will understand. You have to grind if you want a successful marriage. There is no way out. There is no other way. You have to grind every day. You have to focus on your bride or your spouse or your husband every day. Okay? So again, this is all relative, and we're going to get into that. Okay? So that's what I need to make no mince words. Late lot. Joe, Chip, Chad, 15 units a month, $1,850 a car. I don't care how we get it, front and back. Again, that's what we're doing. 15 cars a month. We've averaged about 10. That's stepping it up. But guess what? I made an investment to pave the property. We put the poles up. We take the fence down. We've got some things going on. We've got banners. We've got a lot of things going on. We're carrying more inventory. I'm making the investment. I need you to make the investment in me. I'm making the investment. I need the investment. We're going to start processing what we're doing. And all I'm looking for is to own 15 cars a month. I don't care how you get it. And again, I'll take more. Joe? Don't matter. I'll take more. I'll take all day long. But the blood number is I got to have 15. 50 a car. You know, for 2013, I'm a happy camper. We can do that every month, 180 cars. Okay, make us a little bit of money. We're not going to be at risk, but we'll all make a little bit of money, and we'll help grow the company, build the company to the next level. You guys realize we do all this stuff with Love Bucket, community involvement, right? Everybody's aware of what we do. Okay, but here's the big thing to realize: the more profit we can make. Okay, I'm not a greedy fellow. I promise. Some may think I am. I'm not a greedy guy. But the more profit we make, the more I can put back into the community. The more I can put back into you guys with picnics and company functions and all those things that we like to do that affect your families, you know, I make more profit. I'll tell you this, and I'll share some things with transparency, and everybody thinks I'm too transparent, but I'll tell you this. You don't realize this, but we make 1 penny. 1 penny. How many pennies? 1 penny for every dollar sold is what we keep. Toyota's national average, you keep 5 pennies. They think penny. There's a lot of dollars that are generated. Keep 1 penny for every dollar. So every time we have a cost of sale adjustment, or we promise keys, and we're going to get a $250 key back, or floor mats, you're just taking away from those pennies. It's just details. It's not taking personal responsibility for that interaction with that customer, with that scenario. Y'all track it? All right, little things add up to the big things, okay? All right, so again, how does this affect everybody? Here's how it affects everybody. How do all these affect you? Your family, your free time, okay, your personal pride, your sense of accomplishment, your actual cash, your, hit these objectives and make more money. We have periodic bonuses that we tie to this. With, I do it with Brad and we do it with the sales department. That's how it affects you. Who doesn't want to be a part of a winning team? When you come to work every day, wouldn't it be nice that you work for the best car dealership in Millersville? And you really rival the best dealerships in Macon? There's no way, Bernard alluded to it, there's no way in the world customer comes first. But honestly, if we're really gut level truthful, really who comes first is the employee. Because if the employee comes first, then the customer will definitely be first. Does that make sense? If the employees are happy, if the employees feel respected, if the employees know that they're cared about, if the employees know that things are done fair and equitable, and they give great opportunity for their family, right? When you feel in your gut that, you know what, really doing things that help my family, right? That's what turns the customer. All right, so let's talk real quick. How are we going to get there? Okay? How are we going to get there? What makes any difference in any organization, right? What's the difference maker? We're going to talk about some of this stuff. The culture, right? I've had Bernard here for over a year now teaching raving fans. You have to include in, that's the culture we're looking for. It's oxymoronic to the car business. In the car business, you work for any car dealer, it's all about the money, baby. It's all about the money. Okay? Well, what I believe, which coincides with what Bernard teaches, okay, is that the money, right, is the reward, is the applause you get after you take care of the customer. Okay, but you got 14-inch journey, head to the heart. 14 inches. You can get it in the mind, but you got to be in the heart. You got to really feel. That's why I think Diane, if those of you know have interacted with Diane, she's got a heart. When she starts picking up that phone as a receptionist, I'm very confident she is going to make sure that when someone's calling, looking for someone, be prepared, because you're going to be inundated with a lot more calls than you currently are getting. I promise you. You're going to feel worn out because she's going to get them to you, and she's going to follow up with you, and she's going to make sure that we get so-and-so handled. Hey, this is the 3rd time they're called. Okay? So those are the things that make a difference. Okay, the teamwork, all right? The atmosphere. One of the things that we're missing at this company that drives me nuts that I've never experienced at any other dealership, and I've run many stores, is atmosphere. What creates atmosphere? Dollars. Taking care of customers create dollars. When you have a lot of dollars, music gets a little louder. People get a little pop to their step. Bonuses get a little better. Right? Things start happening. Atmosphere. You get what's called that big mode. Right? And if you take a freight train, all right? And you put everything in that train that's in that. Once you get it going, once that train's going, can you stop it?
No.
Run right through, run smack through a 6-foot cement wall with steel rebar inside it, right? But if you don't get that train going, as same as that train, you can put a little log right in the very front of that thing with no momentum. Can you stop it?
Yeah.
Joker won't even move. A little piece of wood. Won't even move. Momentum. Atmosphere is important. So how do you get that atmosphere? Well, we talk about it all the time. It's so close, so cliche, but you got to realize, look, at the end of the day, success is not that common. I hope you realize that. Success in your family is not that common. That's why 50% of the marriages divorce. Success is not that common at high schools with young people. That's why you have 35% of high school kids dropping out by the time they're in 10th grade. Success is not that common for people to sell cars and make 7, 8, 9, 10 grand a month like we hear. It's not that common for teams to create atmospheres and cultures and stick-to-itiveness and discipline every single day is not that common. That's why the common team doesn't happen. So the question has got to be is, are we going to be common? That's the question. Right? That's the question. And who affects that outcome? Everybody say, I do. I can't even say I do. Let's talk about that for a moment. There is an I in team. That I is not arrogance. Me and Menard battle about this. I love this. The I in team is not arrogance. Michael Jordan said, someone said, hey man, you scored 55 points against the Pistons, man. That's a little selfish. There's no I in team. He said, no, but there is an I in win. There is an I in win. But you've been taught your whole life there's no I in team. We've all taught that, right? Coaches still teach to this day. There's no I in team. Right? They got it all wrong. I'm explaining to you, okay? There is an I in team. The I is you. Okay? I want you to think about something. Okay? Any organization may spread itself over an entire business community. It may employ several people, but the average person will always, almost always, form the judgment of the company by the contact of one person. True or false? True or false? And you don't even have to be at the store to get that judgment. See, because when you wear the shirt and you go to Pickle Barrel, slam down 4 or 5 beers, everything's cool, next thing you know, you start talking about the woes of the store or whatever. I'm not saying that do it. Then consumers, they're friends, but they're also consumers, hear that. See what kind of operation we got. I don't think that's some other people that it spreads. Or you know it, then you got an internal technician. Something happened in the hours, Brad had to sit with him and say, hey listen, I don't want to put you on point, don't take it personal, but here's the deal, if you don't get it together, we can't keep you. Then he takes that home to mama. And mama gets pissed off. She's like, whoa, what's wrong with you? What do you mean he's going to talk? What? It spreads. One individual every day, one individual. Someone calls in, looks to get to the receptionist. Calls in 15 times because Tequila got the phone the first time, and they transferred the call to Kristen, and Kristen had to go to the bathroom. She transferred the night ring, and then all of a sudden Keith gets the call. Same person calls in 3 times. Can't get looking for Caleb. Can't find Caleb. They talk to Tequila. They talk to Kristen. Now they talk to Keith. Nobody knows what's going on with one person. Right? That one person goes on the phone and says, man, Louie Herron Toyota, man, those people got it. They are not together. Well, they just formed Louie Herron Toyota with the I in team. So who's responsible for the outcome of the steel show? I can't hear you. I am. When you get that, I'm telling you, it's powerful. It's very powerful. I go on to tell you this. If a person is discourteous, inefficient, ineffective, it will take much time and energy to overcome that bad impression. We know that. Each member of an organization who comes in contact with the public is an agent of the whole organization. The impression made by that person is an advertisement, good or bad, which will make an irremovable impression in the mind of the public. Once again, the I in team is not arrogance. We need all the eyes to make the whole. We need every eye to make the whole. See, what happens is, I'm going to tell you a great analogy, maybe you'll understand this. We've got a great basketball team. Matter of fact, we got a state championship basketball team. We got a 6'10" center. We got a power forward that's dominant on the glass. We got a shooting guard that lights you light when you just tear your lights up. We got a point guard that is fast, quick, and that guy can handle the ball like crazy. But here's what we're going to do. State championship team. Same players. We're going to take the center, who's 6'10", put him at point guard. Take the point guard, put him at the center position. Take the forward, put him at shooting guard, and take the shooting guard, put him at the forward. We're going to be just as good of a team?
No.
Why not?
Because everybody's not playing their role.
They're not playing their role. Everybody counts. Everybody matters. It always is one person. It's always one person. And you can't compare yourself to others. Getting spiritual, getting biblical. The bottom line is simply this. You don't work for man, you work for God. He gave you the ability. There are many people sitting in the hospital right now that would kill for an opportunity to do what you bitch about every day. Kill. They sit in a hospital bed right now until they got 3 months to live, and they would die to be able to get blistered by a customer that's angry at you. They would kill for that opportunity. Last time I checked, people don't leave the United States of America and go to Switzerland or Poland for an opportunity. They come here. The same land you're standing on. Right here. We live on this land. Okay? So remember, it's always the I in team. I'm going to tell you one last thing. BP. Y'all remember that BP spill?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a team of people that work out there on that rig. But that one cat, on Friday night, he wanted to get out a little early, get that drink on. Didn't tighten that bowl tight enough, did he? Well, what havoc did that eye cost? He didn't play his role, did he? What havoc did that one eye in team cost? Is it clear that there is an I in team? Who's the I? I can't hear y'all. Make sure y'all realize that. Okay? Let's talk about our culture for a quick minute. Very, very important. We want to get to where we want to go. Strong culture or weak culture. Let's talk about a strong culture. Let's just think to ourselves, do we have a strong culture? Do we have a weak culture? I know the answer. Y'all decide. Strong culture. Positive environment. The leader is a motivator. Feelings of excitement. Team members are empowered to ask questions, not fearful. Team members are eager to grow and learn. An attitude for success is created. All team members are special and respected as individuals. Notice it didn't say employees. Y'all catching that? Team members. Right. Dealer, general manager, service director, porter, detailer. Team members. We're not employees in the store. We're team members. All of us. Not in front, not behind, side by side. When you get that concept, it's like the I in team is powerful. But as long as you're looking at someone's ahead of you or above you, you got to work on the problem. Okay? Team members are challenged to go beyond the status quo. We want to go beyond the status quo. Before I ask you, is that us? Let's just look at the other side. Let's make sure we're, I don't know. Weak culture. Do we have a weak culture? Weak culture has a negative environment. Leader simply dictates, demands. Here's what I want. You don't do it, you're out. Coworkers badmouth all leadership. They don't know what they're doing. They're making bad choices. I can't believe we're doing this again. Employees are afraid to ask questions. They're not going to hear me anyways. What does it matter if I say anything? Employees make excuses. Employees see no future in an opportunity. I'm stuck where I'm at. There's nowhere to grow. Judgments are made about individuals. Standards are lowered. So, let me ask you a question. It's okay to be honest. Do we have a strong culture, a weak culture, or are we somewhere in between?
In between.
Who's responsible to have a strong culture?
I am.
I can't hear you.
I am.
Let's make sure we're tracking. We're getting somewhere. Okay? Every individual. Here's what's important. This is so critical. This is going to explain to you why when you get with people, you fight. Okay? It's real simple. When there's a low trust level, and trust is developed by making commitments that you keep. It's not telling stories about your past and hear me out. Oh, I got to know you a little better. Those are important. It's not trust. Trust is when you say, I'll do something, and I go check on it, it's done. I have a high level of trust. When I can count on you that you're going to get things done over and over and over, okay, my emotion level with you is very, very low. However, if there's a low trust level, I've asked you 5 times, don't get done. It's never going to get done. You always got an excuse. It never happens. That means you're going to have a high emotional level with that individual.